Well, hello there. I'm currently drinking an orange drink. Orange, like a pumpkin. Welcome to October. I keep messing up my camera settings, and I keep fiddling around with them and trying to make them like better and easier to work with. And I don't know what I did, but everything I was recording was blurry. Now I have to re-record this, but you know what? That's fine. So, welcome to the third time that I record this video, and yeah, let's get into it. I have a tale to tell you, and it's a stupid one, so I'm just putting that out there right from the start. This is dumb. So don't complain to me if you stick around and that this was dumb, because I warned you. I made myself a birthday cake for my birthday, and I made myself a homemade frosting for it, and I kind of improv'd the recipe. Wasn't really feeling like following instructions that day. Oh, geez, I just realized that I put the camera on the table. I have a tendency to shake the table when I talk. Scooch on off the table then. Or I'll just lean very loose. No, just put my ears off the table. What was I talking about? My birthday cake. I improv'd a recipe for frosting, and it came out really good. It tasted great, it worked well as frosting. I went to check on the frosting about 2 weeks after my birthday. Opened up the container and realized that it had completely hardened. Rock solid. Nothing I can do with it. That's so much. I can't let this all go to waste, so I was like, what can I do with this frosting? And I decided to melt it down, add a few more ingredients, and turn it into a chocolate syrup. Perfect. And that came out great too. The chocolate syrup part of this story was a complete success. The part that wasn't the success was the fact that it was a catalyst for my mistake, which was I attempted to make caramel syrup. It was on a whim. I just decided completely on a whim that I was going to make caramel syrup. It was the first time I'd ever made caramel, and it will probably be the last time that I ever make caramel because it was a nightmare. It was so frustrating. If you have made caramel before and you had a real easy time with it, I'm happy for you, but that was not my experience. I had trouble with it sticking to the pan. I had trouble sticking to the spoon. After I finished one batch, I tasted it. It was way too salty. And I know everyone's big into the salted caramel thing, this was more salt than it was caramel. So I made a second batch of caramel to add to the first batch, and in that batch I burnt my finger. If you watched my last video, you'll see a band-aid suddenly manifest on one of my fingers. That's what that was from. It was from me burning my finger on caramel. And so I finally finished it. I finally got it to taste good. And I didn't need it for anything. What was I gonna do with a big old jar of caramel? What do I do with this? Why did I make this? I found a recipe for caramel apple pie. And I was like, oh, that sounds very good. But here's what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to follow a recipe again. I had spent so long fighting with the caramel that my mood had really soured, and I was just like, I don't care. I'm just gonna throw together a bunch of ingredients, see what happens, try to make a caramel apple pie. What you're about to see is me I've never made an apple pie before at the time of me filming this video. This is, again, my footage was blurry, so this is after the fact. I already know what happened. You don't. I'm just gonna try and make a good pie. So that's what you are about to see here now. Alright, judging on the audio quality, I may or may not have to redub this. I'm not sure. Every time I've attempted to film something with this camera from the behind, the audio has come out like ass. So let's try and make it work this time. So, here's what I'm working with. I thought about doing real apples. Oh, the oven's preheated, how nice. But yeah, no, I'm not going to cut up a bunch of apples for this stupid pie that I'm throwing together in 5 seconds. So, I'm so done with this pie already, and it's not even together. Oh, I forgot the key ingredient, the key criminal. I'm gonna call this the apple pie of vengeance, by the way. I feel like that's an appropriate title for my feelings towards this caramel and this pie. Maybe if it comes out really good, it can be called something else. Do you add vanilla to apple pie? I'm not sure if I'm supposed to add this in. My apple pie is gonna have vanilla. I don't care if it's tradition. I don't think it's tradition to use a graham cracker crust either. So, I'm doing what I want. I really hope this doesn't turn out. Oh shoot! The fan's on! You're not gonna hear me! Do you put cinnamon in apple pie? I'll put a little bit of cinnamon in it. I feel like cinnamon and apples are almost always paired together, so, I mean, it's not gonna hurt. I'm only gonna put in a little bit though, because I feel like it might clash with the caramel. And I have this guy chilling out here because I am going to use this for the topping. It's gonna be great. Probably. I was gonna have a shot where you got to see me put it in the oven, but I realized as I was doing so, my oven door is very uncutely messy. Ooh. My oven door is very uncutely messy looking, so just take my word for it. I put it in the oven. It's in there. 400 whatever degrees. Let's go! Alright, so I have combined the graham cracker crumbs and some sugar and that butter I had sitting in this bowl into this lovely crumble. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, once the apple pie is done cooking, I'm going to put this crumble on top of it, and then I'm going to add the caramel sauce. And then I will cook that for a little bit longer. The reason why I'm not cooking it with the rest of the pie, which I don't know, maybe some people do that, is I'm very apprehensive about this sauce. One of the biggest issues I had in making the caramel is its tendency to harden into, you know, like a caramel candy instead of a caramel sauce. And I really don't want it to do that on top of the pie. I'm afraid that if I heat it for too long, because I'm so inexperienced with this type of ingredient, I'm really afraid that if I apply too much heat to it, that it'll harden into like a shell on top of my pie. So I'm just going to put it in for the very tail end. So I think I'm going to cut for the day, mostly because it's getting late. I didn't plan the timing out for this video very well. So I'm probably going to cut for today. The next time I am filming, the pie should already be done. I should have a status report on the pie, and we will see how it ended up. Let's hope it was good. And there you have it. The pie was in the oven, and I might have left it in there a little bit longer than it should have been. To my surprise, the apple pie turned out not only fine, but it actually ended up tasting really good. There were some cons. The structural integrity of the apple pie was really bad. It might as well just be like good ingredients piled on top of each other, loosely in the shape of a pie, and then when you try and scoop out a slice, it just kind of like falls apart. And in hindsight, I wonder, I've always seen on apple pies the like crisscross dough stuff on top, and I had always thought that that was just for aesthetic, but maybe that's to like hold it, like like trap it together and make it stay. If I had done that, maybe it would have turned out better. But either way, it tasted really good, which is more than I had expected it to. I had kind of actually thought that this was going to turn out a little bit bad. In hindsight, I shouldn't have expected that, because when you think about it, even if you don't know what you're doing, if you're taking things like apples, sugar, caramel, and graham cracker and putting them together, that's not going to taste bad. It might not taste as good as it could, but you would have to really screw up in order to make those things that already taste good together taste bad somehow. So what I'll do at this point is I'll show you some fancy close-ups of the pie. Again, it's not a looker. It looked pretty for about 5 seconds, like right as I drizzled the caramel on top. It looked so nice. Not a very aesthetically looking pie, not a very good structurally sound pie, but you know what? it tasted fine, and isn't that what matters? I don't know, hopefully you got some enjoyment out of watching me fumble around with an apple pie for a little bit. Hopefully you did, and I hope that together we can have a wonderful month of October. Again, I am planning on making weekly videos, so this month should be a fun one. I'm planning something spooky for next week, so I hope you enjoy that, and have a great day. I love you. Bye-bye.